Tonight is about dissolving fear and coming into divine order. So, fear. Let's dive into talking a little bit about fear and what some of the ramifications are of when we allow ourselves to pick up on a vibration of fear. Because the first thing that we want to be aware of is that fear is not our vibration. Fear is an outside vibration that we have picked up on, or it's a vibration that is coming in possibly from some old cellular memory from the past. But it is not the truth of our being. And so one of the things that we want to do is to begin to get really good at identifying when that fear vibration is creeping in. Because it's very easy to pick up on somebody else's fear. Maybe you go into a room and somebody in the room is resonating in fear, and you might be standing next to that person, and you might pick up on some of that frequency. So it's really important for us to be aware of what that feels like and to really be monitoring our energy body, to be so aware of our vibration, our inner vibration, that we can easily sense in a flash if something else has come into our field. And that's what we're going to be doing in the meditation tonight. We are going to be setting our field so that it is so strong that nothing can really come in and penetrate our field. We want to be setting the wave. The ripple of energy is coming from us. And that's what we want to be doing. When we're out in the world, we want to be delivering the energy. And you're going to see in this meditation how that this will actually allow you to allow things that are in your field to come into divine order. So, one of the things with fear is that it puts us into this state of duality. So right now, with everything that's going on the planet, it's really easy to tap into the global frequency, the global consciousness field. It's really easy to be in a room standing next to somebody and picking that up, but we can imagine the globe, the world is in a state of panic, is in a state of fear. And so that is really super easy to tap into on a global consciousness level. So we want to make sure that we remain in our own vibration so that we are not tapping into that and going into this state of duality. Because in the state of duality, we are no longer in our center and in direct alignment with Creator, God's source. We are now in a state of polarity. We're in a state of right or wrong. We're in a state of looking at a situation, and instead of staying neutral to it, which is what we want to do, we go into a situation where you tap into this state of something out there is happening and it shouldn't be happening. That's a judgment. That's a judgment about what should be happening out there or shouldn't be, or that the thing that seems to be appearing is a bad thing. And I know this is really difficult because when you look at something like this that is appearing on a global level, it's really easy to judge and think, oh, this shouldn't be happening. But that's what we want to come back into. We want to release ourselves from this place of duality, and we want to come into neutrality. Neutrality is the key. The neutrality is when we see a situation that is appearing, because that's all it is. It's something that seems to be appearing. It's appearing out there. So we want to step back into ourselves and come into this place of neutrality, neutral to whatever it is, completely neutral. So I have a really great story for you that is the exemplification of what I'm talking about here. So when I was in Scotland many years ago, and I landed there, I'd taken a red eye. I landed to Glasgow, actually. And I get to Glasgow and I get to the bus station because I needed to take a bus to go to this ferry that was going to take me to this little island called Gia. And so I get to the bus station, and I'm talking to the guy behind the counter, and his accent is so thick. And we're talking between glass as well. It's so thick in Scotland. He's speaking English, but I can barely understand a word he's saying. And by the time we go back and forth and back and forth for me to understand what he's saying, I've missed my bus by minutes. so anyway, so now the next bus is not coming for like 4 hours. So at that moment, I decided to go sit in this church and do some energy work from that church. So that's what I did. And that's a whole nother story. But what I want to get to is this example that we're talking about here. And that is to stay out of judgment of the appearing situation. So I miss the bus. I hang out for 4 hours. I finally get on the bus, and now it's getting late. It's the last bus. And the bus ride itself was about 4 hours as well. I'm pretty tired. So anyway, somebody woke me up. I had fallen asleep, actually. Somebody woke me up behind me and said, "This is your stop." And I started to get off with all my luggage. And this was way before the days of traveling light. And I still don't travel light, but I had so much stuff you wouldn't believe. I couldn't carry it by myself. So anyway, I'm struggling to get off the bus with all this luggage. And I'm saying to the bus driver, I said, "Well, where is the ferry?" And he says, "Oh, it's about a mile down the road." And the ferry was leaving in like 5 minutes. And I was like, "Well, aren't you going to take me down there?" And he basically boots me off the bus, totally boots me off the bus. And so there I stand. It's twilight. The ferry is leaving in like 5 minutes. And I've got all this luggage. There's no way I can get down to the ferry. And I'm standing there in the middle of nowhere. It's rolling hills. There's a closed up old shack of a market that isn't even open anymore. And there I am. Now, this is an apparent situation that is appearing. So I have a choice in that moment of the situation that seems to be appearing out there. I have the choice to not go into judgment, to stay completely neutral, completely neutral. So what did I do? Instead of going into panic and fear and, "Oh my God, how am I going to get to the ferry? Oh my God, I'm going to be sleeping outside tonight. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I got all my luggage and my computer and, all those things that your mind could do." What did I do? I went and I just stood over a little further from where he dumped me off. And I was looking at these beautiful mountains and these rolling hills and the green grass, and it was twilight. And I just took in the magic of Scotland. And I just was in the moment, the real moment. And in that moment, to my left appeared this older gentleman with beautiful blue eyes, a true angel. He appeared next to me on my left and he said, "Can I help you with something?" And I thought, wow, this is amazing, but there's no way we can get down to the ferry. I said, well, I need to get to the ferry and got all this luggage and it's about a mile down the road. And he said, no problem. And next, there's a car. A car appears. We get into the car with my luggage. He drives me down to the ferry. They were just closing the little rope. They opened the rope. They let me on. And I waved goodbye to the man. And that was my entrance into Scotland. Now, some of you might think, how could that have really happened? I tell you, this is a true story. And over the years, I have over and over realized the power and the importance of staying in neutrality to whatever the situation is that is appearing. It doesn't matter if the situation is your computer is crashing. Whatever the situation is. And so that is what we need to do right now. We need to all stay in neutrality to the situation and come back into our own center, allowing ourselves to take this time right now for ourselves. And I know a lot of people on the planet are probably, I was tuning into this today, are probably starting to feel like, you know, this not going to work thing is really great. I bet there's a lot of people starting to feel like, you know, I could get used to this. And I really feel that I know that this was so needed on the planet. Everybody has been on such a treadmill. And so I want you to reframe this whole virus thing. And I want you to look at it from the perspective of being in divine order, that there is a bigger plan that is happening here. And people are now going to start coming into greater alignment. As we all know, humanity is in this major process of awakening. And this virus is part of the awakening. And that is what we want to go into tonight. Not just to talk about it right now or think about it, but to really embody it, to really let go of whatever we might have tapped into. And I know because I was watching the news for a couple of days and, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times I would check in, even just for a few minutes. And I noticed that energy was starting to try to creep in, and I cut myself off from it. So I've really limited the amount of check-ins, you know, every couple of days, or if I get a message from spirit, you know, that I need to go check. But pretty much I'm not doing any of that. And I think that's really healthy and good, because if you're checking it constantly, you're definitely probably going to get caught in that vibration. And so we want to release any of that vibration that you might have picked up. And I am curious, and I'd love to have you pop something into the chat right now. Are you noticing any fear that you've been feeling? What have you been feeling? Have you been feeling afraid? Afraid of what? Anybody at all? If you want to put something in the chat. I'm not seeing. Maybe there's. You've been noticing other people panicking, fearing the unknown. I have been able to separate from it. Yeah, and that's a really good point, fearing the unknown, because when we really look at fear, what is the number one fear? Does anybody know? The number one fear is the fear of the future, the fear of the unknown. So it doesn't matter if you have a fear of failure. Well, what's going to happen if you fail? Well, I don't know. It's the unknown. It's going to affect my future. The fear of the future. And it's really interesting because it's almost as if When you go into fear of the future, which is basically when you're in fear, fear of the future, fear of not getting something, fear of not having something, fear of failure, like I said. But when you are in fear, in this fear of the future, it's like you are saying that the future is outside of yourself. The future is not outside of ourselves. We are unfolding our future from coming into this divine order within us and allowing that to ripple out and create our future. The future is not out there. The future is inside of us. And we came here to live in that future now. So I'm going to check in. I've been focusing on not watching the news. Great. Wonderful. Well, that is really the way to go. So, so fearing the future is completely telling the universe that the universe is that the future is outside of you. So letting go of the fear. When we have fear, there's resistance as well. There's resistance to something. And what is that resistance? It's back to the judgment. When we're in judgment, there's resistance. Something's right, something's wrong. That's the duality. And when we're in duality, we're not in the unified union with Creator. We're separated. And that's when the thoughts start spinning all over the place and it's really hard to make decisions. So what we want to do is come back. We want to rebalance. And that's why the tools with the sound are so powerful. Especially these audio tracks that you're going to have a chance to utilize. They will bring your brain waves into synchronization with your body waves in 5 minutes or less. They are going to bring you out of that state of the spin, the chatter of the mind, the panic, and bring you back into this place of coherence. And that is what is so important, because within all of this that's happening, the fear is a detriment to our health and our immunity. The fear creates stress in our body. It starts pumping out that fight or flight mode. It starts putting that cortisol into our field. And when that stress hormone cortisol is firing, we're in this state of stress and it weakens the immune system. So these vibrational tools are really powerful for you to use all the time. Keep them on playing in the background. You don't have to use them with an earbuds. You can, that's great. Headphones are great, earbuds are great, but you can play them through a speaker. It's better not the computer speaker, to have something a little higher quality, but have them going. These are amazing tools. We want to keep ourselves out of stress. And the other thing that the sound frequencies will do, they will synchronize your brain to bring you into deeper states of clarity so that you feel really focused and clear, so that you're able to make the decisions. And most importantly, that you're able to receive the guidance from the Creator, to feel your connection, and each moment know from within what direction you need to go in. And that's really important during these times. So not going into stress and fear is a great way to maintain that. So using the frequencies are great to keep things maintained. So letting go of the resistance, accepting the moment allows us to step out of judgment. So just remember that one as well. Something's appearing, accept the moment, step back into neutrality. And lastly, before we go into the meditation, is divine order. Coming into divine order. What does it really take to really be in divine order? The number one thing it takes is trust. Trusting that there is this bigger picture going on. The Creator is the one controlling this, whether it appears that way or not. So we are surrendering and trusting that everything is in divine order. Everything is in divine order. So we're going to go into this meditation and allow yourself to really be present in this. Really allow yourself to begin to feel on a vibrational level what it feels like to be in divine order. So first in the meditation, we're going to release any fear and cleanse the bioenergy field of your bodies, to cleanse out any fear. And then we're going to bring everything into harmonization. And then we're going to bring it into divine order. And then we're going to allow this divine order to flow out into our beautiful planet, which is truly in divine order. So if you guys are ready, we're going to begin. I'm going to do a little screen sharing so that you can see the beautiful rotating earth spinning. But I do want you to close your eyes and really just go into the sounds and the frequencies here. When we are working with that fear, just don't get into any analyzation. Allow anything to crop up at all. No editing, no analyzing. It doesn't have to make sense. You know, you might hear something. Maybe it's a fear that you didn't even know you had. And by clearing these fears, really catapult your life. They're very, it's very transformational. So I want to send you the audio tracks. So I put my email address in the chat, and please email me. I'm going to send you a stress relief audio, and you can use that all the time in the background. It's also great for just relaxation, for meditation, for creativity. It's great for sleep. And then I'm going to also send you Everything is in Divine Order. That's the other audio. And that one, you can use that in the background. It's a great tool as well to meditate with. It's short, it's only 8 minutes, designed specifically to be easy to do. Sit down and meditate with it. Breathe and open to the experience of divine order. So that one, and you know, that one is so great. You can just play that in the background while you're cooking and making food and stuff. And the other thing you can do, which is fantastic, is you can leave it on when you leave the house. And the first thing you hear when you come back to the house, everything is in divine order. Now, the music behind it is all very specific, so it's working with your brain waves, just putting you into a deep theta state so that you're reprogramming your subconscious mind to feel and know that everything is in divine order. So, got a message down here. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, okay. So I do want to open it up here in just a moment. Thank you. That was grounding and peaceful. Thank you for sharing your gifts and energy. Beautiful. Yes, so I'm really looking forward to sharing those audio tracks with you. So I'm going to give you the stress relief, the delta, which is deep relaxation, and then the theta wave, which is reprogramming your subconscious mind. Everything is in divine order. And the other thing I wanted to remind you of is stay in neutrality. Remember that If you're starting to feel resistance to what's happening in your field, meaning you don't like it, you wish it was something else, step back, accept the moment, and step back into neutrality. Okay, so thank you, everybody. I'm going to open it up here, but I do want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me. Let me just unmute, and here you are. So is anybody would like to share what you experienced? Was there some fear in there that released? Any sharings?
I am very relaxed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who was
Chris.
Ah, okay. You sound relaxed.
Thank
Awesome. Oh. Yeah, so, all right, everybody. You all are so relaxed. Take it into your night.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, you're great.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to be doing some more live streams, so stay tuned, more videos. And I want to give you some more free stuff. So listen to what I send you this time, and then we'll be ready for the next one. Okay. All right,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love. Email me when we hang up or later tonight. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Much
You're the
love
best.
to you.